This is Raven Dana, and welcome to Walking Between the Worlds. Thanks for joining me today for the third and final class in the series around practical magic, practicing and developing the skill of moving energy to balance and to heal and to restore in your life and in the world around you. So today we'll tie a few things together and we're going to go a little bit deeper in some we'll say the more ethereal ideas that will help you if you embrace these concepts in your practice. First of all, the living universe. Nothing helps us to move energy better than being aware, not in our minds as an idea, but aware of the flow of energies around us, in that everything in nature is alive. Everything is alive and communicates to us and to each other. So in developing that skill of using practical magic, that experience that the world around us is conscious and in communication with us is important. It helps us to focus in on and pick up on shifts and changes in the flows of energy. And in the, how can I say this, in the frequency of energy, if something is balancing or healing or pleasant, or if something is disruptive or chaotic. Now, when the change is large enough, we are aware of it, but this practice will help you to pick up on more subtle changes and to be a little bit more forewarned if something is coming your way. Okay, so really listen. I want you to develop the practices of listening, seeing, and feeling, okay, by quietly listening to the world. Really hear the voices of the world around you. Hear the wind, hear the birds, hear the sounds of traffic, hear the kitty, hear whatever is communicating with you in your environment. And practice seeing, to sit quietly and to look closely. Again, get out of your mind and into your senses. This is one of the best ways to practice practical daily magic, is out of your mind and into your senses, rather than assessing, observing, and letting the feeling come to you of what may be going on. Let those deep connections be made that prompt intuitive and instinctive responses from you. So again, this is not hard. In a moment where you have 10 minutes, look outside, look around the room you're in. Excuse me. And also to really feel, to close your eyes and practice allowing your body to be the antenna that it is, to feel the shifts in energy around you, to allow yourself to notice the difference between being in one room and another. The ambience of a room changes. The difference between being inside the house and standing on your porch. What does it feel like? What does it feel like to be in your backyard? What does it feel like to stand in a parking lot? What does it feel like to be near a grove of trees? What does it feel like to walk by a cemetery? So we are magic, right? We are the magic. Energy and frequency. We are beings, conscious packages of energy and frequency that exist in a multi-dimensional universe of energy and frequency. So we are magic inside a universe of magic. We basically float in a sea of consciousness. So it's interesting when you really think about that a lot of our experiences of being separate from or isolated are actually, they're not real. They're constructs of the mind that we use to navigate this kind of world in which we live. But the world in which we live is much larger than the consensual world that we see in our everyday existence. It's deeper, it's richer, it's fuller. And the more in contact we are, the more we allow ourselves to be open to the living energies around us, the easier it is to stay in the flow and to practice magic in the way that actually is practical and useful on a daily basis. Okay, signs, synchronicity. Again, helping hands are always available. There are also hands that would snag your ankle as you run. So again, paying attention to the energies is useful. What you experience has a lot to do with your thoughts and expectations, with your views on things, with the regularity with which you practice your psychic hygiene. You can make a difference in the kind of energies that stick around you or are attracted to you. I mean, look, in the same way that you bathe and brush your teeth and wash your hands and do those things every day, get into the habit of practicing psychic hygiene, of clearing yourself off, clearing your thoughts, clearing out your emotions, letting go of stories that rattle around in your head and disturb you, right? I mean, fine, get dirty, watch the news if you have to, but then get it off you. Don't take it in as if it's the concrete, the only thing that's real in the world. There are lots of layers and dimensions of possibility and probability. And the more you open yourself to all the possibilities rather than the thing you see in front of you that someone else dictates, the more flexible your life is, the more fluid the energy is, the more ability you have to get in the flow and achieve experiences of outcomes that are more positive and productive. Okay, so one thing that you can do is I would invite you to read Robert Moss's book, Sidewalk Oracles, and to play the Sidewalk Oracle game, which essentially is you ask a question of the universe or of your larger self. Then you go out and take a little walk and you notice the three things that really stick out, that grab your attention. And you sit with those. You see what story they tell you. You take a look at what information they present, because synchronicity is a message. So notice how your thoughts might be echoed, or the answer to a question might show up on a radio, in a song. You might change the channel on the television as you're thinking of someone, and someone on a show mentions their name. Right? I mean, these are all memos from us to us about where we're at energetically in this world of ours, in this universe of ours. Okay, so daily practices: observe, listen, feel, and take notes. Write down your experiences the way you would write down a dream. Like when you have a synchronicity or you have a series of synchronicities, don't just sweep them under the rug. Make note of them. Write them down in a journal, because that helps you, that communicates to your deeper mind. I'm open, I'm listening, I'm ready, I'm aware, give me more. So again, when something's not going the way you want it to, and you want to do some practical magic, being able to tune in to these larger energies around you brings helping hands that can be very useful, right? Ancestors, archetypes, angels, even aliens, right? In the practice of practical magic, you can experience many different beings or entities in your dreams, in your liminal space, in your journeys, in your meditations, in your practices. I mean, look, remember that we are only able to perceive with all our senses less than 1% of all known frequencies. That's all known frequencies. What about all the frequencies we don't know? What about all the frequencies that we cannot perceive with our senses? It does not make them less real. Just because we can't see it or hear it doesn't mean it's not real. All it means is this equipment that we have doesn't pick up the information in that vibrational spectrum. And sometimes things speed up and slow down in a way that we are temporarily able to perceive that which we ordinarily don't or can't. So again, those places, liminal times before sleep, when you wake up in the morning, during a meditation, when you're just looking out at the forest or looking out at the yard in a state of calm mind, things can show up for you. And it doesn't matter what you label it. Again, ancestors, archetypes, angels, aliens, It doesn't mean it's not real. It doesn't mean you're not having an experience. It doesn't mean you're hallucinating. It means you are, for that moment, expanding and extending your ability to perceive things that are ordinarily at the edges of your senses. So this is something that happens with regular practice. You become more aware of those beings that are on the fringe of our awareness. Okay. And again, if you're concerned about what you might attract or what you might invite in, I encourage you to use, again, this comes also from Robert Moss, but I'm going to read this to you. May all my doors and gates and paths be open, and all my doors and gates and paths between the worlds, and may they be closed to any who would harm us or those we love. So I'm going to say it again. May all our doors and gates and paths be open, and all our doors and gates and paths between the worlds, and may they be closed to any who would harm us or those we love. And one more time, because 3 is the charm. May all our doors and gates and paths be open, and all our doors and gates and paths between the worlds, and may they be closed to any who would harm us or those we love. I recommend that you say this at least once a day. I recommend you say it before you take on any sort of magical practice. I recommend you say it if you're feeling off and feeling not right or feeling a little antsy or afraid or depressed and don't quite know why. So clearing yourself and closing the gates to any harmful energies is a good and useful practice. All right. Standing between the worlds, the liminal times are excellent times to practice. And not just liminal times, the ones I've mentioned, of course, like before sleep or when you first wake in the morning, but also liminal places at a crossroads, at the seashore, places where water meet land, right? Liminal places these are gateway places, in the same way that right after you wake up and you're kind of floating half in and out, that's a gateway time, right? So between the consensual world and the deep place of the dreaming, there are these liminal zones that allow us greater access to the energies that we move. Use those times to seek information, to ask for healing, to seek protection, to reach out to someone at a distance, to offer healing energy to someone else, to request a visit from spirit guides, or even a visit from a friend or loved one that's deceased and on the other side. So again, the standing between the worlds, those liminal places and liminal times are very useful for the practice of communicating and for moving energy. And finally, I want to talk a little bit about magic and art and music. We don't talk about that enough. I mean, we all know, if you've experienced music that's made you cry or uplifted you or made you jump out of your seat and dance, you know how powerful music is. And art, of course. Art is a tremendous magical practice. I recommend that as part of your way of playing with energy and practicing practical magic, that you utilize both art and music. Whether that means chanting or playing music in the background or using music to uplift and excite you or music to calm you down. Whether if you sing, that's great. You could even write some music or create a little spell that goes with a melody. Or you can use some kind of liminal chant to help put you in a quiet zone. There are plenty of ways to do that, plenty of stuff out there. Music has been used in ritual for thousands and thousands of years, and there's a reason why people sing together in order to work magic. For magic and prayer, music is important. So you may notice, even if you've ever gone to any church anywhere, that there are certain things that happen, that usually somebody's standing in the front of the room, priest or pastor or whoever they are. There's often a call and response. They say something, you say something back. They say they sing something or you sing something back. People sing songs that everybody knows and people sing together. There's movement of energy through sound, through music, and through speaking words together. That gets everybody in the room doing something at the same time. Breathing, moving energy, breathing in and out at the same time, taking in a breath and talking, taking in a breath and singing. There's a lot of power in that. So whether we're talking about religious ritual, raising energy in prayer, or ritual that's raising energy for sending it places deliberately, directly, which, by the way, they're kind of the same thing. I just want you to get that the use of music and the use of voice and song helps to move energy. Similarly, if you're doing some kind of magical work, you're practicing practical magic, you're doing maybe some sympathetic magic, you're looking to call something to you, pick up a pencil, or even if the best you can do is a stick figure, it's okay, because the universe knows what you're talking about. Go ahead and draw something out. Go ahead and draw the house that you would love to have, or find pictures online, print them, and put them on a vision board. Right? The use of art and music is a tremendous tool to move your skill level forward when you're practicing practical magic, right? And it's not like you have to, spend a lot of time on it. You can do a quick sketch of something and it will work for you. Like the story I told you in the last session about the woman who couldn't sell her house. She bought a new house. The other house was supposed to sell really quickly. It didn't. She realized she was really attached in an unhealthy way to that house and what it meant and all kinds of things about how she was wired. So she did this she's an artist, but she did this practice of doing a quick sketch of her and the house and of drawing all the lines that she imagined of connection, the strings that she had emotionally and mentally attaching her to that house. And then she cut it. She cut the page in half. She cut the strings. And then she did a second drawing of herself over here and the house over there. And as I told you in the last time, 48 hours later, her realtor called and that house got sold. So sometimes it just takes acknowledging what's going on. I'm reminding you that the language of the universe, the language of the deep mind, the language of the world between the worlds is energy. So when you're using emotion and repetition, when you're using art and music, it carries a lot of vibrational energy, and that helps get the memo where it needs to go, right? So if you're talking to yourself by acknowledging, I have this sticky thing going on and it's not working for me, instead of trying to talk about it and process your way through it, put it on paper, burn it. Use a pair of scissors, cut the thing out that doesn't work, crumple it up, throw it away, flush it down the toilet. Ditto, if you have a job or some situation that's toxic for you and you've got some buy-in, you're feeling like, oh, this is a familiar, comfortable place to be a victim of that thing. Be aware of that. You can put that on paper. You can do some practical magic work around separating yourself from that. And of course, if you have music on hand, you like to sing, you like music, you can use that as well. Now I'm going to give you a couple examples of ways to play with it in an artistic way. You can create a mosaic from shattered pottery, for example, to represent healing from a broken relationship. You can draw or find and print pictures of the vacation of your dreams or the home of your dreams or the garden of your dreams, and then allow yourself to follow your intuition when you get the clues and the synchronicities that pull you towards that coming to manifestation. You can use symbols and images that speak to you to promote healing. So, you can draw something that is culturally significant to you for protection or healing. You can go by tried and true symbols. You can use circles and triangles, and here's a symbol that I have right here. This is, someone carved this for me. It is Maui's hook, basically, and it's a symbol of protection and healing. It's New Zealand, actual someone in Australia made this for me, but it's Maori in origin. But whatever works for you, whatever resonates with you, you can wear a symbol, draw a symbol, work with things, even if you're not, again, good at art per se. You can use symbols to represent things, but putting images on paper helps. It moves the energy along. It makes a difference. Again, you can draw yourself or the person or situation that you're connected to in an unhealthy way, like tied together with string, or you can actually take two things, one representing you and one representing whatever that is, and use string and tie it together, and then sit with it, sit in front of it, and let yourself make that decision to be free from the thinking and emotional patterns, to be free of that experience or that person. Then get your scissors and cut yourself free. Again, this is a great way to move the energy forward. All right, drawing, painting, creating, vision boarding, all of those are tools that help in the practice of practical magic. So avail yourself of them. Let yourself, as in the rituals of old, raise your voice, sing and dance, move your body, do whatever feels right to you when you're calling on the energy to shift for whatever purpose, for healing, for change, for yourself or for someone you love. Practical magic is exactly that. It's practical. It's a way of being in the world that allows you greater agency in your own life. It's a way of being in the world that allows you deeper connections with the world behind the world, and with achieving, even if you don't achieve the outcome that you desire, what you may get in its place is the reason or the purpose for whatever this thing is in your life, to move you towards something or move you away from something else. So be conscious of the memos that you get. Take notes, write things down, practice. Practical magic isn't something that you kind of do on Thursdays from 3 to 5. Although, if you got together with a group and had a conversation and did some practices Thursdays 3 to 5, that would be fantastic. But practical magic is something that's more a developing of your awareness and leaning into, with consciousness, the flow of energy and the worlds that are hidden just out of sight around you and within you. Remember, you are a multidimensional being in a world filled with possibilities and probabilities, that there is nothing that's completely impossible, that all you need to do is lean into those things a little bit, lean into your desires, your wishes, call on the light and the goodness of the universe to fuel you in moving forward in ways that are helpful and healthy for you and those you love. And of course, protective, right? We're not eliminating the idea of protecting yourself either. So again, please enjoy this information, use it. Send me a message if you would like, if you have comments to make or would like clarification on something. I appreciate you for tuning in to me today. Raven Dana, Walking Between the Worlds. I hope you enjoyed this last class, and there will be some meditations coming over the next few days. Until then, have a wonderful day. Unless you have something else planned, do whatever you choose. Thanks for tuning in again. Bye now.